everyone.
This call is now being recorded.
Ayan.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon, ma'am.
Okay. Once again, good afternoon, maayong hapon sa tanan. Okay, for this afternoon, we will begin discussing another chapter of topic in organic chemistry. In particular, for today, you will learn how to name organic compounds. So we will start, of course, with the simplest family of organic molecules, and these are the alkanes, particularly the branch chain alkanes. Okay. Now, when we talk about naming, nomenclature of organic compounds, or naming of inorganic compounds, whatever compounds it is, when we study its nomenclature, that is actually considered an essential subtopic in chemistry. Because if you come to think of it, you cannot go along, proceed on identifying the physical chemical properties of any compounds, inorganic man or organic, if in the first place you cannot even identify or distinguish a compound based on its name pa lang. That is why very important, no, for you to study names ng organic compounds or inorganic compounds. Okay. Now, in naming organic compounds, the same similar system or the same set of rules that was devised or proposed by IUPAC will be followed or will be utilized. So, gagamitin natin yung IUPAC system in naming organic compounds. So, we will follow that systematic way of naming. Okay. Now, based on IUPAC system of nomenclature, yung chemical name ng isang organic compound, it has generally 4 parts. Okay? I repeat, based on IUPAC system, in general, ang chemical name ng organic compound consists of 4 parts. And these are, una, the locant. Yung locant, this is usually given in a form of a number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. So yung number na yan, yung locant na yan, will help us locate, diba? From the word locant, it will help us locate the position of either the substituents or the functional group present in that molecule. And then it is followed by a prefix. So you already know what is a prefix. Now, yung prefix naman, that will help us identify the various number of substituents present in the molecule. Again, this tells us about the number of substituents, the number of branches, no, present in the molecule. And then, the heart of any organic molecule name is the parent chain. Okay, yung parent chain naman, that selects the main part of the molecule. Okay, it is the main part of the molecule, of an organic molecule, which tells us about the number of carbon atoms in that part. Okay, so most specifically, this is the longest carbon atoms present in the molecule, longest carbon chain, okay, ng longest chain ng carbon atom, okay, present in that molecule. Yan yung parent chain ng isang org molecule. And lastly is the suffix. Yung suffix naman, of course, this is added to the end part ng name, diba? Suffix. This will tells us naman about the functional group present in that molecule. So it helps us identify what is the primary functional group present in that molecule. Kapag ending in -ane, that is an alkane. Kapag ending in -one, that is ketone. Kapag ending in -ol, that is alcohol. Kapag aldehyde, and so forth. Okay, so yan yung suffix, yung importance ng suffix, yung last portion ng name ng any organic molecule. Okay, it will help us identify what is the main primary functional group in that molecule. All right, so in general, these are the parts of an organic name of a molecule. Okay, so it has a locant, prefix, parent, and a suffix. You will realize or appreciate the importance of these parts as soon as you will be able to specifically name a particular organic molecule. So we will start naming uh, the branch chain alkane. So life hack muna, life hack or ako pasabot sa life hack is kanang technique ba? Technique para mapadali inyuhang life when it comes to naming any organic compounds. Technique ana is you have to master first the naming or the set of steps in naming branch chain alkanes. So diri mag-start tanan, okay, sa branch chain alkane. If you cannot name a branch chain alkanes, you can never name a complex or other classes of organic compounds. You cannot name an alkene, alkyne, what else, alcohol, ketone, etc. Okay? Ngano man importante kayo si branch chain alkane? It is because the same similar step, the same similar rules nga ma-apply nato diri sa branch chain alkane ang i-apply pud ninyo in naming other classes of organic compounds. That is why diri pa lang you have to master the naming of branch chain alkanes. Alright, so no problem with the straight chain alkanes kasi na-tackle naman natin, di ba, yung simple way of naming straight chain alkane. Kasi 'di ba pag straight chain alkane, that is simply sige, recap na lang muna. Itong straight chain alkane, 'di ba? It has a general formula CN H2N plus 2. Wherein yung N, okay, recall yung N that is equivalent to the number of carbon atom. So, kapag nabilang mo na yung carbon atoms in that straight chain alkane, we use a Greek number. Naalala yung Greek number, the hepta, hexa, octa, yun. Except for the first four. Kapag isa lang yung carbon, we use the prefix meth. Kapag dalawa, eth. Kapag tatlo, prop. At saka kapag apat naman, but. Don't forget that ha. Kapag isa, kasi ma-apply ni siya along the way. Okay? Kapag dalawa, S, tatlo, prop, apat is but. Then we add the suffix "ane." So that is how we name straight chain alkanes. No? We simply count the number of carbon atoms and then we add the suffix "ane." Now, kapag branch chain alkanes naman, we follow systematic steps set by the IUPAC. Okay, so we will begin with step 1, in which we have to find the parent carbon chain, okay, or the parent hydrocarbon chain. Or this is equivalent to the longest continuous chain of carbon atoms. So longest, pinakamahaba, continuous, tuloy-tuloy. Okay? Pinakamahaba, tuloy-tuloy. Kapag sinabing chain, linkages. Okay? And then, linkages of carbon atom. So please take note this ha, longest continuous chain ng carbon atoms. Yan yung parent chain. Okay? And then after you find the longest continuous chain ng carbon atoms, use that name of that chain as the parent name. So say for example, binilang mo yung pinakamahabang chain ng carbon atom and a total of 5 carbon chain. Yung pinakamahaba. Ano yung alkane na yan kapag 5 carbon chain? Anyone? Ano yung name kapag 5 carbon chain alkane?
Pentane, ma'am.
Yes, very good. Pentane. Di ba? Kapag 5, pent. Then you add the suffix "ane." So you use that um, name of the chain as the parent name. Okay? So yung parent name, most probably of that branched chain alkane is pentane. Siya yung parent. Kasi siya yung may pinakamahabang chain of carbon atom, which is continuous. Kapag 6, hexane. Okay? And so forth. So say for example, applying the first step. Okay? Okay, applying the first step. So example, this is molecule 1. So molecule 1, again ha, carbon lang. Do not include the hydrogen here. We are talking about the carbon chain. Alright? So, hanapin mo lang. You have to find the longest one nga continuous. So obviously this one. No? This one. This is the longest. Tapos continuous, continue siya. Okay? Continuous, and then chain siya ng carbon atom. Yan yung longest. Or, you can start here. Okay? Pwede din dito. How many carbon is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or yung isa, pwede ka mag-start din eh. 'Di ba? You start here. And, okay. That one. That is still a longest chain of carbon atom. Kasi 6 din yan, di ba? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The one highlighted or naka-enclose sa red nga so na circle. Di man circle. Basta ka na akong gi-include sa closing color red. Di ba 6 din yung carbon chain. So either lang, pili ka lang ng isa. Okay, that will serve as the parent chain for that molecule. So most probably, what will be the name of that chain for its parent lang? Applying sa step 1, this would be hexane.
Hexane.
Okay, very good, hexane. So para dili mo maglibog, i-erase na ko ang isa ha. Pili lang mo og isa gyud nga parent chain. So ayun na ninyo lisod-lisura inyong self. Pilian na lang tong naa sa straight 1. So, kani. Okay. So, ayan. Nakapili ka na ng parent chain. Itong parent chain na yun na hexane, meron siyang branch. 'Di ba? Meron siyang sanga. Ayan. Meron siyang sanga. That is why tinawag silang branch chain. Alkane, meron silang branching points ba? Hindi lang sila straight chain. Alkane, meron silang branching. Sige, let's have the second molecule. Okay, so the second molecule, parehas lang. This would be the, ayan, this would be the parent chain. Diba? Longest continuous chain of carbon. We're talking about the carbon atoms. Bilangin nyo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yan yung pinakamahaba. Kasi if you'll start here, okay, kung dito ka simula, terminal. By the way, kung find out mo sa parent chain, of course, you start with the terminal to terminal. You start with the terminal end, then end it with another portion na terminal end. So, kung kani imuhang gipili nga terminal 1, 2, then asa ka mo tuyok 2, or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Kung kani imuha, 7 ra na siya nga chain, di ba? Kung kana imong pilion nga parent chain, 7 lang yan. So that is not the parent. So that is how to find the parent chain. It doesn't mean nga yung nasa straight kanang nasa straight nga pagka sulat, yan agad yung parent. No, it's not. Sometimes hindi po obvious yung longest carbon chain. Okay? Dili siya obvious minsan based on the manner of how it is being written. So you really have to find out where it is. Okay? So, ito yung parent. Erase na ko ni siya. Okay. So, from this parent chain, meron siyang dalawang branching point. Diba? Branching point, ito, and this part here. Diba? So, it is a branched branch chain of alkane. Now, what would be the name of the chain as the parent name? This would be octane kasi 8. Diba? Very good. Octane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, octane. Isa siyang substituted, okay, na octane. Meron siyang substituent. Meron siyang branch. Okay, next. Dito, obvious naman yung parent 1. Okay, ito yung parent. Okay, so yan yung parent. Ilang carbon yan? And what is the name of the chain for the third molecule?
Hexane.
Okay, very good. Hexane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You have to count. Yeah, you have to count the carbon, longest carbon chain. Okay, kasi kapag dito ka nagsimula, okay, kung direct ka mag-start, hindi yan 6. Diba? Continuous din siya, no? Continuous chain din siya ng carbon, pero hindi siya yung pinaka-longest. Kasi ilan lang to? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lang yan. Okay? I-erase na ko. And for the last, tell me, what is the longest continuous chain of carbon for the last molecule? Okay, very good. It is hexane. Okay, so this is hexane. Okay, very good. For this part also is hexane. Ito yung longest carbon chain. Okay, so hexane then. Again, napata sa step 1, letter A has A. We have to find out first the longest continuous chain of carbon atoms. Okay, so molecule 1, most probably, this is a substituted hexane, the same with number 3 and 4, isang substituted. Merong substituent, merong branch, yung hexane as the parent. And molecule number 2, it is a substituted octane. All right? So, done with letter A, step 1. Now, still under step 1, finding the parent hydrocarbon, letter B. Letter B, or case letter B, if 2 different chains of equal length are present. Okay? Ibig sabihin nito, kapag or upon finding the parent chain, you have located 2 different chains, 2 or 3 or more different chains ng carbon na equal yung length. Okay? Siyempre, you will be confused here saan dito yung magiging parent kasi kaparehas lang yung length pero magkaiba yung chain. Now, if that is the case, you have to choose only one with the higher number of branch points. Okay? So, hanapin mo yung parent na maraming branch points, hanapin mo yung parent na maraming anak. Okay? In short. Okay? So, say for example, in this given molecule, okay, molecule 1 ulit, if we try to find out for the parent chain, duha, okay, dalawa yung posibleng parent chain, okay, which is equal of length, Una, pwedeng ito, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, 6 carbon chain, or the one highlighted with color red, this is also, okay, a 6 carbon chain. Diba? 6 pa rin yan. 1, 2, bilangin niyo yung carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Two different chains. Magkaiba yung chains but of equal length. 6 carbon chains sila dalawa. Now, in choosing the parent chain, if this is the case, you have to choose the one with the higher number of branch points as the parent. Now, let me ask you, which do you think is the parent? The one with red na highlights or yung black? Red or black?
Black po.
Okay,
Black.
very good. Okay, very good. It is color black. Kasi, red muna tayo ha, red muna tayo. Kung titingnan mo yung red, highlighted with color red, yung branch points niya, again, focus lang sa red ha, katong naka-enclose sa red. Hanapin niyo yung mga may sanga. So, mula dito sa baba, may, on the third carbon, okay, on the third carbon, 1, 2, 3, yan yung unang branch. Okay? Then on the fourth carbon, ito yung second branch. So meaning dalawa lang yung branch kapag pinili mo yung parent na highlighted with color red. But, sige, erase na to ha. But if you chose the one highlighted with black, ilan yung branching points? In this case, you have 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Therefore, this would be the one with the higher, this would be the chain with the higher number of branch points, higher number of substituents. Okay? Parehas lang yung substituents tsaka yung branch points ha. Okay, some other references uses this term, substituents. Okay, so that would be the parent. Isa siyang hexane, a substituted hexane. Okay, still under finding the parent ha, step 1 pa ta. Okay, but applying the letter B case. Okay, now this part, okay, dalawa din yung posibleng, I'm sorry no, wag na siya ang challenge basta working at home. Selden. So dalawa din yung posibleng chain, okay, that you can locate upon finding the parent chain in this molecule. Okay, una, pwedeng this part highlighted with color black. Again ha, yung parent chain continuous. Continuous dapat. So that is a continuous carbon chain. Tuloy-tuloy ba? Tuloy-tuloy continuous chain of carbon. Or the other one, pwede din naman this portion, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or this part here. This is also a 6 carbon chain. That is still 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Now, between that two different chains of equal length, merong isa dyan with the one na may higher number of branch points, and that is yung naka-highlight na kulay. What do you think? Kulay? Okay, kulay black. Okay? So, kulay black yung piliin nyo na branch points. Ayan. So, erase na ako ng red ha, para di mo maglipog. Okay? Ayan. Awa na nagka-klaro. Okay. Ayan. So that is a 6 carbon chain with the one na may higher number of branch points. So hanapin natin yung branch points. Una, pangalawa, and pangatlo. Diba? Mula sa parent, may sanga. Okay? Mula sa parent, may 3 sanga. Kapag pinili mo yung kanina, if you try to check it, then inyuhang i-encircle tong red, katong kaganina na ako gi-encircle nga red, duha lang ang branching points nga inyuhang ma-produce sa ato. Okay, so ito yung magiging parents chain kasi meron siyang tatlong branching points. And lastly, yes, Miss Babia.
Ma'am, nakoy question.
Mm-mm.
Kana bitang si H3 sa taas, ma'am. Pwede po na kana po siya dili instead na kaning CH3 sa kaning black bitaw, ma'am. Instead na kana siyang last nga CH3. What if kanang sa taas nga CH3 ang
Yes, pwede.
end?
Pwede. Ang
Okay po.
yeah, pwede. Parehas lang yung magiging resulta. Ang pasabot ni Miss Babia, okay lang ba daw nga instead nga this part kani nga CH3 yung parte ng parent chain, ito daw yung magiging parte ng parent chain. The same thing lang din yun. No? It is still a 6 ana yung pasabot. No? It is still a continuous, no? Continuous pa rin yan. Continuous chain of carbon and total of 6. And if you try to find out the branching points, parehas lang din, no? If this would become your branching point, it is still a CH3, no? So the same lang gihapon, 3 branching points imuhang ma-produce. Okay? And 6 chain of carbon atoms for the parent. Okay? So, tama yun. So, it is up to you kung asa inyuhang i-parent as long as the longest one, then with the higher number of branching points. That is how to find out the parent chain. Sige, for the last molecule, the parent chain here, not yet the parent, the longest muna, the longest carbon chain, dalawa din yung posible. No? So, una, pwedeng ito. Okay, the one with a straight, in a straight representation, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, another 8 nga longest, no? Another 8 nga longest carbon chain is mula baba, then papuntang left. That is still continuous, and it is still an 8 carbon chain. Bilangin nyo, 8 pa rin yung carbon, no? But if you try to compare these different chains, isa dyan, mas marami yung anak niya, mas marami yung branch points ba, no? As a parent. Okay? So which do you think? The one highlighted black or red? Very good. The one highlighted na color black. Okay? So, erase natin yung red.
Black.
Okay, very good. So, that is how to find the parent. Step 1 pa lang po tayo Kasi, kung imuhang i-analyze the one highlighted with color black, meron siyang, meron siyang 4 na branches. Ito, another one, third, and fourth branch. Sanga ba? Sanga mula sa parent. Okay? Sige. So that would be step 1. Finding the parent chain, the longest continuous chain of carbon atom. Okay? So let us proceed to step number 2. Again yung step 1, find the parent chain. Pagdating sa step 2, you are now ready to number the atoms in the longest chain. So how do we number? How do we assign number sa carbon atoms in the longest chain? Letter A, you have to begin. Okay, begin at the end, no? At the terminal carbon that that is nearer the first branch point. Okay? So, doon ka una mag-assign ng number sa terminal carbon kung saan malapit doon yung first branch. Okay? Dalawa lang naman yung terminal, di ba? Sa isang parent chain, dalawa lang yung terminal end. The one on the left or right, the one on the top or bottom. Depende kung ano yung orientation sa structure. Okay? So, pili ka sa dalawang end. Kung saang end mirror ang first branch, siya yung magiging carbon 1. Then, continue. Carbon 2, 3, 4, and so forth. Okay, yan yung step number 2. So, kanina, we have identified already the parent chain for this molecule. So, kung inyong lantawan yung notes, maurag hapon nga molecule kanina ha. Okay, so na-identify na natin yung parent. This time, step number 2 na tayo agad. Step number 2, assign number sa carbon atoms. Beginning at the end kung saan malapit yung first branch. It is on the left or on the right carbon. This
Right po.
Okay, very good. On the right, yan yung magiging carbon 1. So when you assign number, simply write 1 sa carbon atom ha, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that is how to assign number of carbon atoms in the parent carbon chain. Okay? So assignan lang nimo siya below or above the carbon atom, lagyan mo ng numbers. Okay? Yeah, another one. If this is the parent, ayan, tell me which would be carbon 1, left or right? Very good, left. So this would be carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So yan lang yung step 2. Okay, mula sa finding parent chain, number ka na agad, number the carbon atom. So from this parent, this is the parent. Okay, tell me saan yung carbon 1, the one on the left and right pa rin naman yan, di ba? Nasa taas lang yung isa. Left or right? Okay, very good. The one on the right. No? The one on the right, siya yung magiging carbon 1. Kasi pag ito yung carbon 1, on the second carbon niya, may branch na agad. Kaysa kung sa taas ka magsisimula. Kung sa taas ka magsisimula, on carbon 3 pa, tsaka ka pa makakalocate ng branching point. No? So, yung nasa right carbon, yun yung magiging, ayan, carbon 1, then continue. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, next. Okay, from that parent chain, is it the one on the bottom or on the left carbon? Bottom or left carbon, very good. No? Ito yung carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then, last molecule, the one on the bottom or right? Right or bottom? Very good. The one on the right na carbon, siya yung carbon 1. So, carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So, that is step number 2, letter A. Okay, step number 2, letter A. Okay, begin numbering at the end near the first branch point. Okay, step number 2, case letter B. Okay, now if there is branching with an equal distance away from both ends of the parent chain, begin numbering at the end nearer the second branching point. Ibig sabihin nito, you have the parent already, if this is the parent. Now, upon assigning number for that carbon atom chain, syempre mag-base diba ta sa first branching point, kung saan mas malapit. Now, upon finding out the location of the first branching point, magkaparehas lang yung distance. Kung dito ka magsisimula sa left, on carbon 2, may branch agad. Kung diri ka mag-start sa right, on carbon 2, may branch rin. So if that is the case, equal yung distance ng first branch point, you have to proceed on the second branch point. Kung saan naman mas malapit yung pangalawang branch point. Okay? So say for example, obviously this is the parent. No, for this skeletal structure, obvious naman yan yung magiging parent. Okay? Now, upon assigning a number sa carbon atom sa parent ha, upon assigning number ng carbon atoms, you will find out na if you start on this part sa right side, on the second carbon may branch ka na, may substituent na. Kapag dito ka naman nag-start, on the second carbon, meron ding branch. Now, if that is the case, equal yung distance ng first branching away from both ends, proceed on the second. Okay, second branch. Saan naman mas malapit yung pangalawang branch? Is it on the left end or is it on the right end? Okay, so very good. So in this case, in this given example, we will start numbering on the right end. Okay, so dito. Ayan. Okay, so we start here. Ay, sorry. Ayan. Okay, so carbon 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. 11 ba yan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ano, nagdubli. Kadali lang. 10 lang yan. Sige, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. So, yan yung application ng case letter B sa step 2. Sige, proceed ta sa second molecule. Okay, so second molecule, ayan. For the parent ha, parent chain, sige, ito yung parent. Or the other way around. Pwedeng itong part na to yung parte ng, hindi siya pwedeng parte ng parent. Hindi siya yung magiging longest chain, no? Dili. That would be the longest one. Okay? So it is a, how many carbon chain? How many carbons sa chain? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nonane. So this is nonane. Now, upon assigning number, okay, sa carbon atoms in the longest chain, ganun din yung mangyayari, case letter B. Kung dito ka magsisimula sa taas, 1, 2, 3 on the third carbon, may branch ka na. Ito yung branch. Kung sa baba ka naman mag-start, 1, 2, 3, may branch again sa third carbon. Okay? So, pili ka, applying step 2, letter B na case. Which do you think would be carbon 1? The one on the top or bottom? Okay, very good. The one on the bottom. Okay, so this would be your carbon 1. Ito yung carbon 1. 2, 3, then 4. Kasi yung second branch point, makikita agad sa fourth carbon. Okay? Then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that is how to apply step 2 case letter B. So ayan yung mga naka-highlight, no? Naka-highlight na yung mga branch points. Sige. We're done with step 1, step 2. Step 1 again is to find the parent. After you find the parent, step 2, you number the atoms in that parent chain, in that longest carbon chain next. Step 3, you identify and number the substituents. Now, how do we assign numbers sa substituents? Okay, take note, assign a number or assign a locant to each substituent. This is to locate its point of attachment to the parent chain. Okay? So may importance yung step 2. Diba? Sa step 2, we number the carbon atoms sa parent chain. Yung mga numbers na yun yung magiging indicator natin kung saan makikita yung mga substituents, kung saan yung point of attachment ng mga substituent. Okay, so that's letter A. Letter B, if there are two substituents on the same carbon, merong isang carbon sa parent chain, meron siyang dalawang sanga. If that is the case, give both the same number. Sige lang, you will appreciate this upon application sa step. Sige, for example, ito ulit. Okay, familiar yung molecule, di ba? Ito pa rin yung kanina. Okay? So, sa molecule 1, we already number this. Ito yung magiging number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sabi dito sa step 3, we have to assign, letter A, assign a locant, assign a number to each substituent. So, naka-highlight naman yung mga substituents, di ba? Substituents are actually in a form of alkyl groups. Naalala ba yung mga alkyl groups? Okay, ang alkyl groups, how are they derived? Diba? They are obtained from alkane. How? Removal of how many hydrogen? Para makapag-produce ng alkyl group. Very good. Removal of one hydrogen from an alkane, that will produce an alkyl group. And sabi ko last time sa previous discussion natin, very important yung mga alkyl groups kasi di ba meron silang point of attachment, yung mga alkyl groups. Those are very important para mabuo yung isang organic molecule. Kailangan ng mga alkyl groups para mabuo yung isang organic molecule. So say for example, for the second carbon, CH3. Okay? From CH4, which is methane, di ba methane is CH4. Nagtanggal ng isang hydrogen, methane becomes, naalala ba yung how to name alkyl groups? The ane will become il. No? Yung ane will become il. Okay, change that to, ayan, il. Alright, so that is how to name lang the alkyl group. So this would be methyl, and we have to assign a number. Saan makikita yung methyl? Unang methyl, carbon 2. So 2-methyl, lista natin. Then on the third carbon, meron kang, ano yung CH2, CH3? Ano yung CH2, CH3? 2 carbon chain, di ba? From ethane, minus 1 hydrogen, that becomes ethyl. So yan yung ethyl, CH2, CH3. Di ba? Ito yung point of branching kasi nag-remove ka dyan ng isang hydrogen. Di ba? Di ba ang ethane kay CH3, CH3. Ito yung ethane. Removal of 1 hydrogen, that becomes CH2, CH3. Ito yung point of branching. So kung makikita nyo, 'di ba? Ito yung naka-attach sa parent. Okay? Kasi yan yung part na unstable kasi diyan ka nag-remove ng isang hydrogen. Sige. So this is 3-ethyl. We also have another methyl on the fourth carbon. So ilista mo lang 4-methyl. So these are the substituents, no, na makikita sa first molecule with their assigned number. Ibig sabihin nitong mga number na to, ito yung locant, no? Ito yung locant, yung location ng mga branch points, location ng mga substituents sa parent chain. Yung isang methyl makikita sa carbon 2, yung ethyl makikita sa carbon 3, yung isang pang methyl makikita sa carbon 4. Sige, letter B tayo. Letter B. Okay? Ayan, ako sa erase. Na application. Sige. Given this molecule 2. Sige. Molecule 2 ha. So, na-number naman nato yung parent kanina. So, we start here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, applying step 3, Letter A muna, we assign number, okay, for each substituent. So we have 2 sa carbon 2. Tingnan yung carbon 2, there is methyl. Carbon 3, ito yung carbon 3, may label naman, no? Diba, ito yung branching point, ayan. So CH2, CH3, that is ethyl. Then, fourth and fifth carbon for merong methyl. Ganon din sa fifth carbon, merong methyl. Okay? Okay. Dito pa pala maa-apply sa third molecule yung letter B na case. Okay? So, balik tayo sa numbering 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Baliktad. Sorry. Okay. We start here. Wait, ayan. This would be carbon 1, the one on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Next, assign number sa each substituent. Applying letter B na case, if there are 2 substituent on the same carbon, so on carbon 2, kung titingnan mo yung carbon 2, meron siyang dalawang substituent. Diba? The same carbon, merong dalawang substituent. If that is the case, give them both the same number. So, ibig sabihin, yung isa 2-methyl, yung isa din 2-methyl. You provide location for each kahit the same pa yung attachment nila. Para malaman natin kung saan naka-attach yung mga substituents. Okay? And then on the fourth, ito yung fourth carbon, meron diing methyl. Okay? So that is step number 3, simply assigning or numbering the substituents para malocate natin saan sila naka-attach sa parent chain. Okay? And lastly, step 4. So sa step 4, we simply write now the name, yung whole name ng isang branch chain alkane in a single word. Okay? In a single word na. One word lang po yung name ng mga organic compound. So paano natin siya gagawin into single word lang? Okay, this would be the following guidelines. Okay? So letter A, hyphen. Okay, kailan man tag-hyphen, no? Kanang murag dash. Okay, kana. So ang hyphen, this is used to separate numbers from words or from prefixes. Or in general, numbers, words, ang mag-separate sa ilaha in between is a hyphen. So say for example, 1, then word na methyl. Okay? So a number, then a word, ang magse-separate sa kanila, hyphen. Okay, next. Comma. Yung comma that is used to separate numbers. So say for example, you have 2, sample lang sa ni siya ha, 2, then dimethyl. Okay? 2, 2. Okay? These are numbers, di ba? 2, 2. How do you separate numbers? Use comma. So please take note ha, very technical ni siya. Kahit tama pa yung location, tama pa yung parent chain nyo, tama yung single word nyo na pagka-write ng name, pero walang hyphen, walang comma, that is still wrong. This is part of the systematic way of naming organic compounds. So please do take note this, yung step 4. Very technical ni siya. Technical ni siya nga matter in naming organic molecule. Hyphen to separate numbers and words. Comma to separate numbers. Okay, sige, letter B. If 2 or more different substituents are present, cite them in alphabetical order. Di ba kanina, in this slide, we have listed in a molecule, we have listed all the branches, all the substituents. Merong example, sa molecule 1, merong methyl, ethyl, methyl. Now, upon writing the whole name, alphabetized. Okay, i-alphabetize sila. So, naka-alphabetical order yung mga different substituents upon citing them, upon writing their name. So, between ethyl and methyl, of course, mauuna yung ethyl, followed by methyl. Between isopropyl and ethyl, sino yung mauuna? Siyempre yung ethyl, followed by isopropyl. So, alphabetical. Yan yung ibig sabihin ng letter B. Okay, next. Letter C, if two or more identical substituents are present. If two or more identical substituents are present. Example, dalawa yung methyl, dalawa yung ethyl, tatlo yung methyl. Yan yung ibig sabihin ng letter C. If two or more identical substituents are present in the parent chain, use one of the multiplier prefixes. Ano yung example ng mga multiplier prefixes? We have di kapag dalawa, tri kapag tatlo, tetra kapag apat, penta, no? Kapag lima, and so forth. Okay, yan yung mga multiplier prefixes. This is to indicate na there are two or more identical substituent in that particular parent chain. But take note, i-highlight nyo to, don't use these prefixes for alphabetizing. So kahit may example, yung kanina, ito. Ayan. Kanina, di ba nagsulat ako ng di, no? Dimethyl. Kahit may prefix na di to indicate two identical substituents, two methyl in that molecule, yung di, this is not part of the root name methyl. Kasi isa lang siyang prefix. Therefore, upon alphabetizing, you have to consider letter M here, not letter D for di. Okay? So, M ka mag-consider in alphabetizing. Okay? Yung root name. Again ha, yung mga multiplier prefixes di, tri, tetra, and so forth. In this case, katong to indicate two or more identical substituents, that is not part, that will not be used for alphabetizing. Sige. Okay, let us now name all those molecules na na-present kanina. Okay? Diba, naalala tong first molecule, ito yung pinakaunang molecule kanina sa first slide, first step, step 1. Okay? So, for this molecule, this will be named as, sige, bago natin i-name, balik ta sa step 2. So, yung nasa left side, yan yung carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So, this is hexane. Take note, the parent is hexane. Ito lang yung kanina ha, applying step 1, hexane. Now, on carbon 2, sa carbon 2, merong CH3 lang yan, naka-calculate lang siya, naka-calculate structure. That is just CH3. Diba? C, then tatlong H. So, CH3, asaan yung CH3 nasa carbon 2. Therefore, it is simply named as 2-methyl hexane. Sumpay. 2-methyl hexane. Ayan. Sige. Na-erase na noon ako. Sorry. Okay? So, 2-methyl hexane. So, simply identify, you simply follow the steps. Diba? Ayan. Finding the parent, numbering, okay, the carbon atom in the chain. Katong mga number that will help us identify the substituents. So, sa carbon 2, merong methyl. So, when you name, i-apply lang ni siya. Kaning 3. Hyphen will help us separate number from a word. Then, one word lang yun din siya. 2-methyl hexane. Sige. This one. Okay. The parent is, ayan. How many carbon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, the parent is octane. And what are the substituents? Okay. Substituents, we have 3, 4, 5. We have 5 ethyl and 3 methyl. No? Ito yung mga substituents. 3 methyl, if you try to list down first, list down ninyo sa inyong notes ang mga substituents. You have 3 methyl, and on the 5th carbon, there is ethyl. So, alphabetical. So, isulat muna natin. No? 3 methyl, 5 ethyl. Sabi dito, ayan, letter B. Cite them alphabetically. 2 different substituent present. Cite them alphabetically upon naming. So, una ka, 5 ethyl, 3 methyl, then continue, octane. So, that is how to name a branch chain alkane. Ayan. 5 ethyl, 3 methyl, octane. I-master ninyo ha ang branch chain alkane. Sige, next. Erase na ko ha. Sige. So from this, na-identify naman nato kaganina ang iyahang parent na number na pud nato iyahang carbon atoms from the parent. 4, 5, 6. And na-list down na pud nato ang iyahang mga substituent for this molecule. Ito lang yung kanina ha na molecule. We'll just continue para mabuo yung name niya. So, what do you think would be the name? It is, dalawa yung methyl na asa 2, and kung nasa carbon 2, ito, carbon 2 and nasa carbon 4. Take note, if, letter C, take nyo na yung letter C. 2 or more identical substituents present, use a multiplier prefix. So, naakay the same, naakay identical substituent in a form of methyl. Okay? So, you have to use multiplier prefixes here. So, we have a 2 and 4 dimethyl. Di, ibig sabihin dalawa. Dalawa yung methyl. Saan yung dalawang methyl? Ang isa nasa carbon 2, yung isa nasa carbon 4 ng parent chain. Yan yung ibig sabihin ng 2,4-dimethyl. And meron pang isang substituent. Ethyl on the 3rd carbon. Okay, so 3 ethyl. What do you think would be the name? Anyone? Very good. 3 ethyl. Yes, very good. 3 ethyl, then 2,4-dimethyl hexane. So ito lang. Naaman sa inyo ang notes, no? Ang mga names. Ayan. So the same with 1 minute na lang. Okay. Sige. The same with this molecule. Okay. 5. So this would be carbon 1. Sorry. Carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Ayan. So the parent is octane. You start with the parent, good ha? Diba yan yung pinakaunang step. Find the parent. So the parent is octane. Okay. Then from that octane, on the 3rd carbon, merong methyl. And on the 5th carbon, there is ethyl. Alphabetical. Una si ethyl, bago yung methyl, then the parent name, octane. Okay. Then, I will just let you identify na lang at home kaya it's already time, no? So, for the rest, tapos na pala. Ito lang yung kanina. Yes, Miss Sembrano.
Question lang, ma'am.
Okay, go.
Regarding sa prefixes, ma'am ba? Example, if ang sundan niya na word kay vowel, example, kay diethyl, one word or siya, ma'am, ang diethyl?
Yeah. Diethyl, yes. Dili na ka mag-hyphen. Ay mong pasabot mag-hyphen ka, di, then, one word lang. One word lang yung di.
Isa lang yan po siya, ma'am.
Yeah, Tama. Sige. So, tapos na pala. Yun yung last na, wala pa, na pa. Kani siya, yung last. Sige, last pag yun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So, this time, meron kang tatlong methyl. So, the same lang gihapon nga rules, no? Trimethyl, asan yung trimethyl? So, nasa carbon 2, 4, and 5. Then, upon citing the name, uuna pa rin yung ethyl kasi alphabetical. So, 3. Ito yung ethyl. Okay? Nasa third carbon. So, 3-ethyl, 2,4,5, trimethyl. Then, the parent is octane. Okay? So, if you master the steps, pwede na mo dili magtagsa-tagsa sa step, no? If I require you to name na gani, name this molecule, diretso na, name lang ang ihatag, one word. Dili na necessary nga inyo pang step 1, step 2, then nag-number pa mo. No, I don't give additional points to that. Ang ako lang yung tanawon is the name, no? Which is one word. Okay? So I think that's all for this morning. So for this examples na na-present kanina, you just have to continue, ha? Step 4 na lang man yung kulang for applying the upon naming these molecules. Nasugdan naman nato ilang step 1, 2, 3 kanina. Application na lang din siyang step 4. So these are the names of these molecules that were presented earlier. Okay? So follow the steps. And yeah. So this ends our discussion for this afternoon.